Good morning, everybody. I am JJW, and today I think Deacon is not feeling well, so it's just going to be me. And I'm a little late because I was working on shorter intros because the normal intro is too long. So we're going to start changing things up. So today this is going to be a solo show, I think. Okay. Here we go. I'm JJ. Oh wow, somebody already dropped out. Solo show. Get out of here with that. So yesterday we had a cutout in the middle of the feed, and I was sure that the Rumble feed was like dead. It turns out that the Rumble feed reconnected and it stitched the video back together, saving me quite a bit of time. The YouTube feed broke into two pieces, and I guess yesterday was controversial because I used the Contest of Champions marketing gimmick as a launch pad to talk about Black Panther Wakanda Forever, and how I think while it will probably make a lot of money, I think the headlines you're going to read in a month are going to be that it didn't make as much money as the first movie. So I guess that was a controversial position, even though when I said it, Deacon said you'd be an idiot to think it's going to make as much money because it's missing Chadwick Boseman and Michael B. Jordan. And yeah, that's pretty much what it is. So yesterday somehow was controversial. There were some ramifications to that, but I will allow Deacon to eluberate whenever he returns. Jeremy says, I didn't drop out. I always have to restart when the show actually starts. Oh, okay. Welcome back, sir. Well, there were actually three right off the bat. It's crazy that there were three. And now we have two people on Rumble also. Good morning, everybody. I've got a lot of news, and some of it involves Biden. So first up, please pray for Deacon. Like his health issues, whatever they are, I mean, it's debilitating, and he suffers every morning. And do you guys know? I mean, take a moment to appreciate though that while he does work early in the morning, he still shows up every day to do this show with me so that we can talk about stuff and also try to entertain you. But every single morning he doesn't feel good, and so every single morning I feel so bad and I'm so grateful that he shows up to even do any of the show with us whatsoever. Oh, looky. We'll see if he drops in. Maybe he will. Maybe he won't. I do not know. Hey, Deacon! Wow, I was just telling everybody that you may not make it because you're not feeling so hot.
I wasn't feeling so hot this morning, man. I just got behind on all my stuff because I had to lay down for a minute. I'm just not doing good.
Hey, Deacon, look at what I got for you. I made something for you. It's a much shorter intro.
Okay. Nice.
It's a labor of love for you, sir.
Short, sweet, and to the point.
Yeah. Right.
What's
all
up?
Right. So yeah. Well, I was just. You didn't hear. You were logging in. I mentioned that yesterday the feed cut out yesterday, and I thought for sure that the Rumble feed would have been broken. I would have had to go replace the video. Well, it turns out when I went back and checked it late last night that the Rumble first half and second half stitched itself together, and it's one video. So, but the YouTube feed broke into two pieces and fell apart. So
Rumble is superior to YouTube in that aspect.
Well, I mean, it is if you like to make a video file, I guess. They've got to look. I'm gonna be honest. They have a little ways to go in terms of a UI, user interface, and some other features. But the back end tech is very solid. So I do, and We're a little bit more censor proof on Rumble, which is
We
good
are.
because, well,
I got censored yesterday.
oh, did you? I didn't want to. That's your story to tell if you want to tell it.
Mhm.
We don't really know
I didn't even
exactly what happened.
say anything about. I kept my mouth shut the whole time that you
Yeah.
were talking about that particular subject yesterday. I did not make one comment. I
Uh,
know
I
what got
I
me
kn-
censored though. It was my mouth on Biden is what
yeah,
got me censored.
yeah, I
And
think so.
I found out who the person was that I found out who the person was.
It was probably a rogue employee at Kabam or Marvel or Disney,
It was
somebody like
a
that, right?
it
It
was
brought a
a it was a yeah, I don't know if you would call this person a full-time employee, but
oh,
they have probably been paid by them before for kind of things that they do.
hmm,
But yeah, I figured out who it
well,
was. Someone told me.
well, you know what, Deacon? First of all, if the person is who I think that person is, and they ever watch this, I doubt they will. First of all, I am sorry that you lost.
Oh,
You
I don't
were.
give two shits.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, I genuinely do not. They got rid of me, and I was like, "Fuck this, shackles off."
I haven't said anything in the particular
Yeah,
forum and chat for a long time. And I
yeah.
honestly didn't even really log in. I would log in once a month and say, and be like, oh, what's new? Oh, okay, that's new. Okay, cool. And then to
Oh,
log out.
you
But I could have got
you
that
once again
information on
continue to
Twitter.
underwhelm me.
Yeah, I would have. Yeah, I would have gotten. I could have gotten that information on Twitter. It
Yeah,
wasn't like privileged information. So,
no, not at all. Yeah.
but
All
I
right.
won't, I
Well,
won't say anything particular about it. But for those that are watching that do know, I know who it was, so it's not a big deal. I don't care. No lost love off my back.
she didn't. She didn't hurt your feelings. Oh, well,
Mhm.
I'm sorry. My bad. He or she. He or
He or
she
she.
has no power over
Don't
yourself.
assume gender. I had to
Oh.
look up a new gender yesterday, JJ.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How many consonants does it have?
This one was Demi Gender. Have you ever heard of a Demi Gender?
No.
Okay, ooh, let me educate your ass.
Oh, well, I want to learn. Learn me, Deacon.
So yesterday I went through my Twitter and I purged about 100 folks or more that I
Oh,
was following. I just don't want to see their shit anymore. And so I was
there
looking
you go.
through and I was just looking through people's little taglines, what their little description posts are. And if I
Yes.
didn't like what your description post said, or you put pronouns in your description post, I delete you. I don't care if you're a man and you have he, him, and you're a girl and you have she,
Right.
her. I delete you. So I deleted all those folks, and so I come across one that said Demi Gender, and this was a person that I had seen their name many times. So I was like, okay, what the fuck is a Demi Gender? Is this like the first thing I thought of, because I'm a geek and I'm a D&D geek? I'm thinking, ooh, is this like a undead? Or do we have half dragon, half
Yeah.
person?
Do
What
you
is
claim to
this?
be half demon? What is this?
A demigender is someone that, let me see if I can get this right. I might have to look this up to read it.
Oh,
A
oh yeah.
demigender is
Oh yeah.
someone that I identify as a man most of the time. But sometimes if I feel like it, I'm going to identify as a girl. But most of the time I identify as the one gender or another. So you can either identify as a girl most of the time if you're a girl, but every once in a while you may want to identify as a boy. We live
Okay.
in a really
So
weird world, dude.
I want to be totally fair to the demi gender people. So I'm
Mhm.
getting this information directly from nonbinary.wiki, and
Okay.
it says a demi gender from half gender is an umbrella term for non-binary gender identities that have partial connection to a certain gender. This includes partly female demi girl and partly male demi boy, and there's other demi-un binary, demi-un fluid, demi. You know what? Never mind. Let's just
I just
guys.
we read the definition. Let's
You
just
make
move
such
on.
a difficult world to live in. It's not
I
that
don't even
hard.
understand. You read the definition, and I still don't
I don't.
understand.
It doesn't
So
make
I
any
don't want anyone
sense.
explaining it to me.
All right. No, I'm not. I'm not saying anything about Demi Gender per se because I don't even really know what that means. I will say that if you're on Twitter or equivalent social media platforms and you put pronouns in your bio, and I'm not saying you are, I'm saying if you do, if you run anytime you see dramatic dipshits on social media arguing or causing a problem or causing this or whatever, almost always you go to that person's bio, you look, there's pronouns. So people that cause problems all the time. I mean, like every single one that I've been like, this is a ridiculous argument. What is this person saying? Who is this person? Oh, pronouns, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Every time. It's like a rule of thumb. If you see people with pronouns in their bio, they have a mental health problem. Like that, you can just assume that. I'm not saying they do, but you can assume it. You can just operate that way. Anyway, Demi what?
Demi Gender.
You know what? I'm raising two beautiful girls, and I'm going to teach them how amazing and awesome and wonderful it is that they're girls and they're women.
Mm-hmm.
Because women are amazing.
And if they want to go and climb trees and catch frogs and play in the creek, and that doesn't make them demi boy gender. That makes them a girl. That makes them a human. They're
absolutely
humans.
Yeah.
And when they get to their teenage years and they start having all their crazy hormones go through their body, like every single living human being that has ever lived on the face of the goddamned earth has, and you start questioning yourself and questioning all these things, just like JJ did, just like I did, just like every other person that's watching did that is over the age of 25. We all had these freaking questions. We all still have questions sometimes. Our brains aren't perfect. It doesn't mean.
I mean, you're totally right. This is what this is about. This is about kids, children, adolescents that go through puberty, and probably we will go through puberty, and during that process of going through puberty, you feel uncomfortable for months, years, however long it takes for you to like go from a child into an adult. And this generation, whatever, instead of dealing with the fact that they feel awkward, they wrap themselves in fantasy and they get their parents to give them puberty blockers, or worse. I'm gonna get upset. I'm gonna get off of this before I get.
Why don't we just change the subject right now before you go any further?
Yeah, right. Yeah, we really will get canceled. All right, we got some interesting news this morning. Let's start with this one here. So yesterday, Joe Biden. But we're not going to talk about Biden very much. Yeah. Joe Biden's White House posted a tweet, and that tweet said, and took credit for, oh my God, what is this? Hey, Fox News, mind your own business with your ads. The White House deleted a tweet flagged by Twitter that credited Joe Biden for Social Security payment increases. Did you hear about this? Maybe yesterday.
Oh yeah.
So, people that collect Social Security checks, over 65 or whatever, apparently they're going to get something like an 8.3% increase in their 8.7% increase in their Social Security checks next year, which the White House tried to take credit, saying that people that collect Social Security are going to get bigger checks than ever before. And then Twitter put a flag on that tweet that said, you might want some more context. And here's the additional context. The additional context is that number is going up because Social Security benefits are tied by law to inflation. And if inflation goes up, Social Security checks go up to match cost of living. So because our inflation is so outrageous, the checks are going up. And it wasn't President Biden that signed that into law. It was Richard Nixon. So the White House was like, whoops, we just dunked on ourselves for having such an awful economy that everybody gets bigger checks. And they deleted the tweet. So that's happening. Luckily, I do not yet have to worry about collecting Social Security. It's not on my immediate roadmap. Let's see. This is kind of interesting, Deacon. I know you haven't seen this. Yesterday, the Washington Post ran an op-ed, which is actually the title of the show. WAPO-OP-ED says Biden Kamala should abort 2024. The Washington Post, owned by Jeff Bezos, allowed a contributor to run an opinion piece that essentially encouraged both Kamala Harris and Joe Biden to drop out of the 2024 race right now, drop out for the sake of the country. Isn't that interesting? It's a little interesting. Now, the columnist is George F. Will, who is no Democrat. He is a libertarian type, but he was making the argument that Joe Biden should not seek another term, and Democrats should face the fact that there is a mountain of evidence that Vice President Harris is not qualified to be president. And then he went on to go through many of Biden's stumbles and bumbles. It basically just says stuff that's not true and doesn't even know it's not true.
You mean his son didn't die in Iraq?
Oh yeah, that was up yesterday. Yeah, he was giving a speech last night.
I mean, Biden has said that. So you mean to tell me that his son did not die in Iraq?
No, I don't think so. No.
Well, he's the president. He said it. It's supposed to be true.
Yeah. His son Beau did not die in Iraq, even though Joe Biden will tell you he did. His son Beau died of brain cancer in 2015.
Yeah.
So what happens every single time is that Joe Biden will walk around on stage giving a speech or whatever, and he'll say some bonkers stuff. For instance, he was talking about the war in the Ukraine and Russia. But he said Iraq because his brain doesn't work. And then he caught himself saying Iraq and then blamed it on his son dying there, which didn't happen. And said that was
senile old fuck.
Yes, his brain doesn't work. Anything. Right. Okay. Now, so if you guys haven't already, go check out a Washington Post article by George F. Will. It's pretty interesting. Now, it is an opinion piece, so it does not represent the Washington Post itself. But the editors of the Washington Post allowed him to run the piece. So, maybe there's a little bit of sentiment on the at WAPO board. They're like, please, somebody save the Democratic Party from the Democrats. Pretty interesting, though. I saw that yesterday. I was struggling. I try to come up with a show title and a theme much earlier in the day because it just gets so hard to get ready for this thing. And I was struggling yesterday because all the stories were just all over the place. And I was just like, there's nothing here that I care so much about that I want to title the show. And then I saw this and I was like, oh, this is a good one. This is a good one. Hey, let's not talk about Joe Biden. Let's see. How about this? You're not going to like this much better, to be honest. But maybe we'll get off of this one. We'll get off of this soon. Hillary Clinton laments that voters do not understand the midterm stakes. She thinks that voters are so stupid that they don't understand what's at stake here. Meanwhile, and I have not used the term red wave or red tsunami or anything like that. I'm hearing it a lot, and I'm seeing
sounds like a woman's issue.
Indicators. Oh, damn. Deacon.
I know, but good God, don't it? Don't it sound like a woman's problem?
Well, it's gonna be some women's problem, I
Gross.
think.
Nothing gross about that. It's a normal biological.
Okay, you're doubling down. Hello, Mrs. Woodman.
Hey guys.
Hello. All right. So she said to the MSNBC, which, by the way, MSNBC, News Guard certified fake news. They're not real. No, just total Democratic propaganda arm. She said, quote, "I think that with all the noise that we've gotten in this election season, I don't think that people are really able to grasp that. But more importantly, I'm not sure they really understand the threats to their way of life. The threats to their way of life. Hillary Clinton hates you. She is the most resentful, bitter woman that didn't get elected to be president, and she thinks that you're all dumb. Meanwhile, poll after poll, and we talked about how bad polls are and how bad the data is. Poll after poll after poll after poll is saying that America lacks confidence in this president, which is no surprise since the Eastern Seaboard may run out of diesel. They might run out. They may have no way to transport groceries to market. Mm-hmm. The price of the milk and eggs and everything through the roof. All right. Okay. How about... Oh, let's see.
Sorry.
Yeah, no problem. Oh, I have something cool. But we have to get through the crap to get to the cool thing. So this is a little bit hopeful. Gen Z. Are any of your kids Gen Z?
I don't know.
No? You have no idea?
Mm-mm.
Well, I think Gen Z is what came after the millennials. So that's like 2 generations after Gen X. So, hey, you're Gen X too. So apparently Gen Z.
I've got a 17-year-old, so maybe. I don't know.
Maybe she's Gen Z. Was there a Gen Y? I don't know. Apparently, Gen Z is rejecting leftism. They're moving towards more libertarian policies, is what the polls indicate. 79.1% of Gen Z voters polled say they don't appreciate Joe Biden. So this number is regarded as exceedingly high. We think of old people as conservative, as 65 plus, but only 59% say that they haven't made the case. That's a big number. It's still 20 points higher than 18 to 24-year-olds. So there's some indication that he's gone. Let me just hide you there. So traditionally, as you get older, you become more conservative because you become more financially established and you have more to lose and you have more to be taken by the government. So typically when you're younger and you're emerging from high school or college and beginning to establish your life, you don't have anything. And so therefore you have no problem with policies that confiscate wealth from those that have so that you can get services. But as you get older, generally, as people get older, their earning potential goes up, their real wealth possession goes up, and then eventually they establish, a home and a family, and you just as you go through the years of your life, the more you have, the more you have to lose. And the more you have to lose, then it becomes apparent to you how bad it is for government to take like 40% of everything you have or 30% of everything you have. So as people age, typically, on average, not everybody, on average, a little bit, they become more conservative. That's the trend. If you ever have heard, I think it was Winston Churchill, or maybe it wasn't Winston Churchill, maybe it was... I don't remember whose quote it was. But it was way back from the 40s. If you are if you're not a Democrat, if you're young, if you're not a Democrat, you have no heart. When you become old, if you are not a conservative, you have no brain. Right? That was the poorest rephrasing of that quote. But it turns out that this generation, the youngest generation, those emerging and beginning their lives right now, 18 to 24-year-olds, they appear to be rejecting the far left and adhering more to center or center libertarian views, which is, hopeful. I'm hopeful. But that's the way the pendulum swings. It goes back and forth. The pendulum goes left, right, left, right. And then that's not the only, it's not just a political pendulum, but also generation after generation, you have post-adolescent rebellion from our parents.
I think so, but you have to put the technological factor in this, and these kids have grown up with this technology that we didn't, and they have seen what the left does with the technology and
Right.
lies to them all the time and lies to everyone all the time. Well, lie, both sides lie, but they
That's
see
true.
this, and have grown up watching these lies be spit in their face. They've grown up watching their parents struggle to try to provide the basic necessities because of inflation and everything going up so much, except for pay. They see all this, and it's changed their minds. The experience has changed their minds. So no matter how much drivel the left and whoever else wants to spew out all the time, the experience is what's making this. The experience is what these kids are seeing, and they're getting up to becoming adults,
Yeah.
and they're realizing, I'm not a kid anymore. I've got to go out here to try to make some money, and I can't make what dad makes an hour,
Yeah.
or so.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm not feeling so well all of a sudden, man.
yeah, I've got you. If you have to dip out, I mean, I got you. I just feel so bad for you, bud. So Manuel says, "What's after Gen Z? The apocalypse?" Man, I don't know. I don't know. Probably they're going to come up with double letters with like an emoji in it. The next generation after Gen Z is going to be like the
It'll just be an emoji,
the
Gen
emoji generation.
face. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. All right. So, I mean, I have to mention this story, and it's not good. The Fed yesterday hiked up the inflation rate again. This is the fourth time this year that the Fed has increased the inflation rate. They increased it by another 75 basis points. Fed officials agreed Wednesday to lift the benchmark federal funds rates by 0.75% to a range between 3.75 and 4%, the highest since January 2008, aka the housing market bubble crash. The Fed's statement indicated more hikes ahead, but appeared to leave room for the Fed to slow the pace of rate hikes at a future meeting while the Fed watches for delayed effects of already enacted rate increases. So anytime the Fed, manipulates the market to try to keep inflation down, the Fed would like for interest rates and inflation to be about 2%, so that we're steadily, yes, the value of the dollar is always decreasing by 2%, but at least it's a steady and predictable rate. Well, it's out of control right now. It's like 8% or 9%, or in some categories 15%. So by raising the Fed interest rate, what happens is that it becomes more expensive for businesses and whoever, people buying houses, becomes more expensive to borrow money, which slows down the market, which hopefully reduces activity, which then hopefully reduces inflation. Don't know if that's going to work or not. So Anyway, what this means for you and me, well, for you, because I already have a mortgage, if you, with a fixed interest rate, if you are thinking, oh, I'm going to go buy a house, well, tomorrow it's going to be more expensive than it was last month to buy the same house. That's what it's going to be. And if you have an investment account, well, not an investment account, but there are ramifications. I'm not an economist, okay? This is not great, but it is what it is. A whole lot of people would make the argument that like, oh, we shouldn't have a Fed. I don't really know that I disagree. I don't know what the alternative would be, but this is what we have. And right now, the Fed is putting its big, fat, swollen thumb on the scale to try to stop inflation because inflation is the worst thing that's going to happen in your life, at least in the next 10 years. Life is going to be so hard for some people. And right now it's like, oh, it's difficult, but we're getting by. We're not even close to out of this. This is the train's still heading the wrong way down the track. So we're not fixing this yet. So it's not good. All right. Okay. I think that's all of the political stories. Yeah, that's all the political stories. I do need to cover a little bit of immigration stuff real quick. Yesterday there were two stories that kind of popped up in my Texas news stuff. The first of which is not so bad. There was a Texas authorities yesterday stopped an Uber driver for smuggling illegal immigrants. The ads. Thanks, Fox News. Dorks. Texas authorities stopped Uber driver smuggling several illegal immigrants. I think there were 5 people in the car. An American citizen was asked to pick up passengers from a parking lot. So some dude that was doing his Uber job went to some parking lot, picked up some people. It turns out they were trying to use Uber to get from place to place, and they got stopped. And 5 human smuggling illegal immigrant people were detained. Okay, that's not so bad. And it's a small number. This is more along the lines of the thing that I've been concerned about for quite some time, which is there was separately in South Texas, 1 person died and 11 others were injured when they were ejected from a pickup truck in a car crash. 1 pickup truck, 12 people injured or dead. We have to get this stuff under control. We are pulling people to our country, causing them to take risks on their lives. And then when they try to flee, we had a story just like last week of a box van full of people. And this same thing could have happened and it would have been 35 people dead. So law enforcement tried to pull over the driver and he ran a red light at La Jolla, a town on the border of Hidalgo County. And I don't want to really show that. 1 person was pronounced dead at the scene. 11 others, including the driver, were transported to a local hospital for treatment. This is an accident, a single vehicle accident caused by 12 people in 1 pickup truck. Just think about that for a second. 12 people in 1 pickup truck. And then they tried to flee. Panic ensued, whatever. This is bad. It's not good. And we are pulling it in. We're pulling it in. We got to stop them from doing that. All right. Now we can talk about this. I thought this was super cool. Check it out. Deacon, if you're out there, look at this. West Texas corn maze is one of the best and most complex in the state. Did you ever go to a county fair when you were a kid? Did they have those out there? Did you? I remember once I went to a county fair or something. Maybe it was Ren Fair. I don't know. It was a real little. And they had a maze that was made of these poles and then like fabric or tarp or whatever. But they had basically constructed a maze. We didn't grow a whole cornfield. They had constructed this maze out of of sticks and cloth, but it was really tall. It was taller than you, and so you'd go in and you couldn't see it. You couldn't see around. It was cool. So this reminds me of that, and it reminds me of the movie Labyrinth, which also, has a big maze scene.
Hence the name.
Yeah, right.
Don't go that way. If she'd have gone that way, she'd have went straight to the castle. One of me and Ashley's favorite lines that we say to each other is, "Don't mind me, I'm just a worm."
Oh yes, that's the one where she's in the part of the maze that looks like it goes on forever in both ways, and then there's like a part of the brick wall that you can't see that's not really there.
Yeah,
that like if you step to the side, it's like, oh, I'm looking through the brick wall, and the worm is in there.
Yeah,
that is a great movie.
Yeah, it's a good one.
I think that was a Jim Henson puppet thing.
Yeah, it was a Henson movie. Yeah,
that was fun. I love that movie. David Bowie as the Goblin Lord or Goblin King.
Yeah, we watched that not too long ago.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
I was actually singing that song the other day, and I looked at Ashley, and I was like, it was last week, and I was like, why am I singing "Oh my baby crying hard as babe could cry"? I was walking around the house singing that. I was like, why am I singing that song?
I need to think about this. Is that a movie that I could let my girls watch? I don't think there's anything bad in it. I think it's okay.
No, there's nothing bad in it. It's
they love puppets.
They would love that movie. Yeah, with the little goblins and the little silly goblins and stuff in it.
There's so many great things in that movie. Just great moments. There's the goblins driving the armor.
Yeah.
Right. And it's actually like two doors that close, and then it becomes like an armor knight, and that's great. That's a good movie. Anyway, you don't remember that part?
Mm-mm.
I think it was right after the swamp scene where the swamp just smells like farts everywhere.
The bog of eternal stench.
Yes. Good man. That's a good movie. I'm gonna have to find out for my kids to watch. Anyway,
I've never been in a maze like that before.
I've never been in a corn maze.
I was in a maze one time at a haunted house down in Alabama. That was a pretty big one, but I've never been. We used to have some corn mazes around here that they grew and designed, and were pretty big. This place, and they looked like that, but they were more designs. Like they purposefully made a design every year. It was weird. It was really interesting. It took some talent to do what they did.
Well, look, I mean, okay, so a couple of features I noticed on this particular one. There's bridges inside. So there's like walk bridges inside of the corn maze.
I see them. Yeah.
A couple of three of them. And if you've ever been in a bounce house, there's a bounce house for scale. So this thing is like super huge. I mean, that's the size of a person, that little dot right there. So this is a huge. It also kind of looks like they were really careful and diligent, and like, let me look how tight these turns are and tight these corners are when they were cutting this side, and then it gets farther over here and it just kind of gets a little bit lazy, and like, just go wherever or whatever. I believe that I see some words in here. Actually, it looks like it says Hank, Hanks, Hanks, BIG, big, Papi, PAPI. So Hank's Big Daddy. So I believe, unless I'm just misinterpreting what I'm seeing here, this is one dad's gift to his kid. That's pretty cool. Oh, thanks. He says thanks. It says thanks, big. So I missed the T. Thank you, Mr. E. Appreciate that. So maybe I did misinterpret it. Thanks, Big Poppy. So let's see. It's a season for corn mazes. Let's see if they give credit to whoever did this, because I think they deserve a shout out. Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't say. I don't see that it says who did this. ATL Do Farms corn maze. Adel Do Farms. Adel Do Pig. Adel Do Farms corn maze this year is in the shape of Prairie Dog Pete, Lubbock's mascot for more than 70 years. Okay, well, that doesn't look like a prairie dog to me. Maybe it's not the same place. Anyway, that's awesome. I thought that was cool. I thought that was cool. Let's see what else is in the news docket. We've got just a few minutes left. If you guys haven't already, I do appreciate that you showed up and that you're hanging out. Give Deacon your positive thoughts. We can get him over this, I'm sure. All right. About a month ago, it's been about a month since I talked about, I don't know, maybe it hasn't been a month. About a month ago, I talked about Warner Brothers purchasing DC and the CW being sold off and, basically Warner Brothers Entertainment. I saw this yesterday and I thought, man, I always get lost as to where the right thing is. There's a report that the CW network is hit with executive layoffs as parent company Nexstar cleans house. So Nexstar bought the CW from, I don't know, who owned the CW? Maybe Warner Brothers. It came with all of these DC TV shows. Supergirl. You ever seen Supergirl? Okay. Flash.
Yeah.
Flash used to be good.
Yeah.
I don't even know what this one is, and that looks like the Archie TV show. So the CW network, which has apparently injected anti-Trump and radical transgender ideology into its programming aimed at teens, has been hit with layoffs.
And then this circles back around to what you were saying about that story earlier about generation whatever. These kids are sick of seeing this shit shoved down their damn neck all the time and their face all the time. Not every fucking kid is a transgender radical that likes the left. And they're sick of fucking seeing this shit. They want to watch their goddamn superhero shows and a fantasy show. They want to watch it about Archie and watch about relationships and crap, whatever 16 and 17-year-olds love. And they don't want this shit shoved down their damn neck all the time. They don't give two craps about Trump. They don't give a crap. This is why they're pissed off and they're all going libertarian now, which I think is great.
I mean, for sure. Like if this was if this was what was on TV targeted at me and I was this age, I'd be like, I am definite I could find other stuff to do.
We have never let our children watch just willy-nilly everything out there. And our kids now, 17 and 15 and whatnot, and they're like, I've never watched SpongeBob. My mom wouldn't let us, we couldn't watch SpongeBob as a kid. And then you ask them, do you think you missed anything by never watching an episode of SpongeBob? No. I don't think my son is at any disadvantage to the world because he's never seen a SpongeBob episode. Okay.
Right.
We didn't let them watch certain things when they were children because it wasn't educational. It was just, and the same thing can be said about our stuff with Woody Woodpecker and Bugs Bunny and stuff like that. But you know what's funny? When I offer my children the DVDs to go watch some of the old, those Bugs Bunny cartoons and Woody Woodpecker and Tom and Jerry, my kids want to watch the old Tom and Jerry cartoons over anything. If I had anything in the world to watch, and old Tom and Jerry cartoons, I would bet the house that they would pick the old Tom and Jerry cartoons because they love them. They love them. And nowadays we were trying to entertain kids by, like you said. So I'm going off and I'll shut up. But
no, it's fine. I mean, you're right. You do the same thing I do, which is I have little trust for whatever is coming out new. So like, they're going to have an Animaniacs revival, or they have a new version of DuckTales.
Animaniacs revival. So let me going to tell you.
Right.
Yakko,
you know exactly what's
Jacko, and Dot. Was that their names? Jacko.
Yakko, Jacko, and Dot.
Okay, so Jacko they're going to do something with their sexuality. I guarantee it.
Right.
They're going to do something with the Animaniacs' sexuality. Where they're not man, they're not woman. Dot's going to wear male clothes. Yakko's going to wear dresses, and it's not going to be some little skit like they used to do. They're going to make a big fucking deal about it, and it doesn't need to be one.
Yeah.
It's a cartoon
I
character.
I don't know that there is an Animaniacs revival. I have seen a new DuckTales, but here's the thing. Like, I just don't I have the expectation that they're going to do that. And do I want to watch every single one of these episodes to find the one that is objectionable? There's hey Cass, what was that? What was that cartoon that we would let them watch? And then Pete the Cat. Beat the Cat. Pete the Cat. I love that. Hey, the book's good. The song's good. The kids love the books. It's so great. I'll let them watch the TV show on Amazon. And of 9 episodes, 8 of them are great. And one of them's not. One of them's not okay. So you know what we don't watch at our house? We don't watch Pete the Cat. Mm-hmm. And I don't want to watch every single episode of every single thing they watch. I mean, that's your parental obligation. If your kids are going to watch something, you need to know what it is. Well, I'm not going to even let them get started on something that I think is going to be harmful when I know that there's stuff that isn't harmful and they can watch that. And my kids,
I was going to say, don't just as a parent assume because it's a cartoon, it's fine. That your kid's watching something and you look over and it's a cartoon, that it's fine. We should know that by now as adults, that not all cartoons are for children. And these children want to watch the cartoons that we tell them that they can't watch because they don't touch the hot pot. They want to do it.
And okay, so here's another thing. Another thing. You know that there's people that get into animation. And I'm not saying that they are nefarious or malicious or, necessarily trying to brainwash kids. There are people that get into animation or in anything else, but animation is what kids watch. And, they get in because they want to make cartoons and they like the art or whatever. But right there, 18, 19, 20, 25, whatever, there's a part of your personality that is also like, I'm going to subvert. I'm going to be subversive. I'm going to sneak something in that the company doesn't know about. Right. And so what was it? The Little Mermaid? Didn't the Little Mermaid have like a drawing of? No, it was Lion King. Lion King had a drawing. There's
a lot of those Disney movies that had that.
Yeah, and it's not like the company did that. It was
my ex-wife had the Little Mermaid VHS box. I think she probably still has it. That has the penises in the window.
Right. Yeah. So it's not like the company mandated, like, put that on the cover. We want to make sure kids see that. No, it was some like rogue employee that was like, haha, this will be funny, except his haha funny is now in the faces and literally a VHS cassette held in the hands of kids and they don't even know what they're looking at. And haha, it'll be funny. Well,
and some of those guys that inserted that stuff. There is one in
The Little Mermaid. If you look at the wedding scene at the very end, the priest has a.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's awful.
It's in just about every movie.
Yeah.
There's a little.
Yeah. So
and they didn't depend on they didn't anticipate. I'm sorry, I'm not feeling so well.
Yeah.
They didn't anticipate technology to be able to stop frame by frame. I don't think they were thinking that.
Yeah, far. they thought this will be 24 frames per second. This will be like a fraction of a second. No one will ever see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. And that was when they thought they could sneak something in and it would never get caught and it wasn't going to hurt anybody. Well, today they're making content with an agenda. And you think that people aren't going to put more subversive stuff into content? If the content with an agenda is the new mainstream of content, like this garbage nonsense, then how much worse is it going to be when the subversive creative tries to inject something outrageous into there? It's just going to be bad. Jeremy says that I'm giving Disney too much credit. Their direct connection between Epstein and former executives. I mean, okay, maybe there are. I just know how businesses work, and I mean, like it's not on anybody's business plan for there to be like sexually explicit content aimed at kids. What happens is that gets through the art department and it gets through editorial and nobody notices because haha, that was the joke. And then now you've already printed the boxes, printed the film. It costs too much to pull it back. So you try to make the story go away so that you can make your money on your movie. So anyway, okay. I just assume the least worst alternative is that's all. Like, never ascribe to malicious intent that which you can ascribe to in mere incompetence. All right, think that's it for the stories this morning. Yeah, that's all I had on docket yesterday. Let's see. We covered the rate hike. We covered the WAPO calling for Biden and Harris to step down. And yeah, that's it. That's all we got this morning. Guys, thanks for watching. If you haven't already, please hit like and subscribe. Hey, if you're out there and you hate us and you happen to watch this one thinking that you can find one more thing to cancel us for, well, fuck you. All right, that's it. Hey, free speech, live free. I'm sorry if you don't like what I say. Nah, I don't give a shit. I don't care if you don't like what I say. I'm just here to try to entertain myself. Maybe make Deacon chuckle. I got a chuckle out of Deacon just now. He came back on screen because he was laughing. And I'm honestly, I'm not trying to lie to anybody. I'm calling the news as I see it, and I believe that tomorrow is going to be better than today because
I'll say this.
Yeah,
everybody else's opinion matters to them, right?
For sure.
Our opinion matters to us. And if people
does.
want to get on Rumble and YouTube and call us a bunch of names and say that everything that we say is wrong, you have more than willing access to do so.
Go start a channel.
Go start a channel. You can call it your
Go start a channel talking about how shitty JJ and Deacon are, and let me know about it. I'll even let people know.
We'll promote you.
I'll promote you.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, these people hate us. Go watch them. But then subscribe to rumble.com/JJW. Help us out. And if you guys want to join the Fun Slingers, over there in the corner, it says Fun Slingers, jjlocals.com, whatever. Once you join, it's free. Once you join, there's a link to the Discord server. You can jump in the Discord servers. You can talk to us all day long. I got a bunch of people over there, especially big shout out to Brian. He's always very helpful. He's starting to help us find news stories that are, I would have missed otherwise. So there was a couple that I missed. Kind of cool thing. Brian's serving on an election board, and he was like, one of the reasons I started listening to the show, and maybe you don't know this, Brian told me, one of the reasons he started listening to the show was not because we were talking comic books and drawing stuff, which I do on the weekends. It was because I was like talking about political stuff, which I know gets ire up, but he was like, I am arriving at the same positions on some stories that his organization is arriving at.
It's funny.
Yeah, well, I don't know. So like, I don't know. Maybe I'm hitting the nail on the head every once in a while. But hey, if you hit the hammer everywhere you can on the wall, you're gonna hit a nail. That's gonna happen. All right, that's all I got today. Thanks for watching, everybody. I got 2 chuckles out of him. Hopefully he feels better. All right, where's the damn outro? Here we go. Bye. Oh wait, I forgot. I have a new outro. Did I make a new outro?
Professionalism.
Never mind. We'll just do the old one.